Before this video begins, I just wanted to say that the information I'm giving here is not specifically just for long distance relationships. You can use it to improve any of your relationships that you're in. I've just happened to pick and choose specific pieces of information that are also relatable and helpful in long distance relationships. Now with that being said, let's get right into it. Welcome to Our World Shifted, where I help people turn their lives around. I had a friend that actually sent me a message recently about his long distance relationship, and I'm not going to say any names here just in case, protect people's images. So he really liked the answer that I gave him. He thought it was actually really helpful, and he actually took the advice that I gave him. So I want to share that with you guys today because I thought maybe it could help somebody else out there. So basically, he's in a long distance relationship. He was feeling really insecure about this relationship, all the usual stories. And I take it too that he's like a very strong-minded man, though this relationship was really starting to bug him recently because this girl woman, however you want to phrase that, wasn't messaging him as fast as she used to, as often as she used to. And the messages, when he was sitting there waiting for her to respond while she was responding, he was starting to get really insecure. So I gave him a couple different tips so that he could start trying to patch together that relationship. The first real big tip I want to get into, give you guys something to take away from this video at least, is setting up an online date. And what I mean by that is like have an actual scheduled date and time when you guys are supposed to meet each other, when you guys are supposed to talk. And I thought this was like a really helpful tip for him because he was feeling like she wasn't being as responsive to him. So I thought, why not test your commitment? Why not test how committed she is to you to see if she's just playing with you or if she's actually willing to show some signs of commitment, some signs of investment, and actually hold together with a commitment that she made to you to actually meet her at a certain time, maybe over FaceTime, however you guys talk. I would, not just phone, I would definitely prefer you guys try to get to some video chat going so there's actual more communication. So yeah, that was my first real big tip, is set up an online date time, set up a specific time, test how committed she is to you. And now my next tip is what to do when to get there. I said, ask her some questions. Get her to open up about herself. See how willing she is to talk about herself, how willing she is to open up to you. And don't pile these questions onto her. You don't want to, here's where it gets really a little bit more deep. You get to this place, you're asking this girl questions to open up on herself. Don't be that guy that piles question on question on question. Don't follow up a question with another question. You don't want to you ask her a question, simple as, hey, what do you do for work? If you're really getting to know somebody, or what do you like to do for fun when you're really in beginning stages. You don't want to be oh, she answers that question, and you're oh, okay, and then you throw another question on her. Don't be that guy. When you ask her a question, look at that as a road to go down. When you ask her a question, try to get as much information out of that question as you can. Try to extend that conversation as long as it can. If you're gonna ask her another question, at least let it be related. Don't keep jumping from subject to subject to subject to subject and just be oh, I'm just gonna force a lot of questions on someone. This is really just even basic on it applies to anything, not just long distance relationships, but just getting to know people in general. Have yourself maybe a list of questions. You could pre-write them all down that you want to ask her, but don't just pile them onto her. Give her time to answer the question, and try to, don't even be you have to ask them all in this conversation. Maybe in another conversation you save more questions there. When you ask her a question, really, for example, if she's oh, I went to Paris, you ask her where she been. She's I've been to Paris. Don't just be oh, so where else did you go? It's still somewhat related. So you could say something oh, what'd you do in Paris? Or if you went to Paris, you could even be oh yeah, I went to this place and I did this over there. And you could continue the conversation like that. It doesn't always have to be a question if you can just kind of give her. Sometimes people just need you to say something so they can keep talking, especially if someone's giving you an urge that they want to have more to say. If you can get that sense from them, sometimes all you need to do is say a little something just to keep the conversation going and almost just give them permission to keep talking. Let them talk. Don't be the one in the conversation very ironic because I'm doing a video where I'm doing all the talking. But don't be the one in the conversation who's doing all the talking. Don't be that kind of guy who thinks a relationship is you just talk as much as you can and you hope the girl likes you. Or boy. You got to get both people to invest. The more you can get her to talk, the more you can get her to talk and open up about herself, it actually makes her feel like she's getting to know you better. She's starting to feel more comfortable with you. She's starting to invest more into you. And that's going to make her want to get a return on her investment. It's going to make her want to spend more time with you. It's going to make her want to get something more out of you the more she invests into you. So yeah, that's my real second tip there is first set up an online date with her. Set up an actual time frame to see if she's going to respond to you, if she's going to actually commit to you. And when you get up to that point, even if it's just a phone call, have some pre-written questions you want to ask her. See how willing she is to open up about herself to you, how willing she is to talk about her lives, maybe even personal issues. And when you get to that point, don't just be like question after question after question. Give each question time to like fully develop and see how far you can take it. Came into you in front of this is like an electrical tower. Just thought it seemed right. It's a whole field here, kind of really going off video here. But yeah, I just want to show you guys there's more. Ooh, can you even see that? Yeah, there's more down there. There's a whole field here. Coming right back onto topic with just one more little thing I want to end this video with is just because a girl is not responding to you right away does not mean she's necessarily not interested in you. It is true, and I'm gonna be very lenient with this because I'm gonna kind of give a little bit both sides of this. It is true that lots of times people in general just get really distracted. They just get really caught up in their lives. They're really busy, especially if it's not something that occurs often. Then just because a girl is not responding to you right away doesn't mean you should be insecure. Though to kind of give a little bit on the other side of that, I would be honestly a little bit more concerned if you kind of have you in the beginning of your relationship, she's talking to you a lot more faster, a lot more often, and the responses are a lot more frequent, versus if after a while you're talking to her, she just responds a lot more slower. She doesn't seem like she cares as much anymore. You know, I'm starting to feel like insecure just thinking about this myself. But yeah, I would more or less don't like if she's girl is like texting you a lot and then all of a sudden she's not. I'm gonna redo this part. Coming right back into it, just kind of want to add something that because it kind of just helps. It kind of addresses the question, part of the question my friend asked, and it probably will still help you guys if someone's going through this. Just because a girl or boy isn't responding to you very frequently does not mean they're not that into you. You do got to understand the busier a person is, the less likely they are going to respond to you. And that's also something to ask her about in a nice, non-insecure asking way. You could just ask her what she does with her free time, you know. How often does she work? You know, what are her work hours like? And honestly, if you find that she's just a very busy person, then you know she's not going to respond to you very often. If she doesn't really have much to say, she's not very much, she's not a very busy person. Or if she starts texting you at first, she's texting you a lot more frequently, later on she's texting you less frequency, I might consider these signs that maybe the relationship is going a little bit downhill. And also just kind of I want to leave it on a positive note here. There are times where a woman will leave you because she believes you're going to be better off without her. A woman in her actual feminine energy, coming from her womanly place, not just like some very angry, bitter place because she's mad at something you did, but if she's coming from like a very deep feminine place, she may actually leave you or want you to leave because she knows inside that you being with her, something about her is holding you back. Maybe you're someone, you know, if you're here watching a video like this, this is really going to apply to you because you might be someone who's trying to improve their lives, move forward in their lives, has a lot of plans, has future goals, and she's just not that kind of person. Maybe she knows how to be really, really fun sometimes, and she knows how to be really exciting to be around, but on a personal level, when she's alone, when there's not someone around to make her excited or something around to make her excited, she could just be a very depressed, very negative person. And you may not even realize this, because when you're with her, you're always providing the fun, you're always providing the excitement, or when you're just talking to her, because we're talking about long distance relationships, maybe you're just always providing the fun, you're always providing the excitement, you're always providing the plans, you're always doing all the work. So she just comes and you're making her happy, so she seems like she's always happy. But if you're really doing all the work, it's very, very possible that she's distancing herself from you. And just kind of just relationship advice in general, if she's distancing herself from you, she may be distancing herself from you because she knows that you're on a path to becoming better. At least you're trying to be better. You're trying to be a positive person. You're trying to be a positive thinker. You're trying to move forward in your life. And some people just really aren't that interested in that. And that probably sounds weird for me to say, especially someone like you who's actually bothering to watch a video like this, because you're not that kind of person. You're someone who wants to move forward in your life. I was watching the video at home and I just said to myself, you know what, at this part, I just need to also interject that maybe the reason she's distancing herself from you could be that it's the relationship itself, the long distance relationship itself is what's holding you back. And now, like, yeah, this was a video that is supposed to give you advice on how to fix long distance relationships, and I did give you a couple of pieces of information you could use to try to help stable things out. You know, for example, like trying to set up scheduled online dates, trying to test how open she is with you, trying to test how connected she is with you. You know, when you have her on the phone, when you have her actually talking to her on FaceTime, however you talk, to see how willing she is to open up to you, how connected she is to you, how, you know, that's when you really test the relationship, test the waters. So I got to get both sides of it too. Maybe she's distancing herself from you because on a woman, feminine, like, I wanted to kind of explain that a little bit more. Like, women have natural, like, in tune feminine energy, feminineness. They have their feminine nature sometimes guides them and tells them what they should do, and they're likely to listen to their emotions. And maybe the long distance relationship, I gotta give you the other side of this, has become a clutch for you. This doesn't apply to everyone, but it may actually apply to a lot of people in long distance relationships. And it's a time for you to assess yourself. Why is this woman special to you, or man? Why are you maintaining a long distance relationship with them? Why aren't you dating someone closer to you? Is there a real, like, valid reason? You know, there's definitely plenty of reasons where it's valid. Like, maybe you met someone and then they went to the military, which I kind of question, but if that's what they did, you know, that's just an example. Maybe just was someone you had a good relationship with and they had to go away for school, they had to go away for work purposes. Maybe for some reason you did just meet this person online and you do know that you just have this real deeper connection with this person, him or her. The question is, though, why are you with this person? And you may not want to hear this, but are you using this long distance relationship as a clutch? Are you using it as an excuse? This doesn't apply for everyone, but are you using it as an excuse to not talk and meet with people who are closer to you? Is this long distance relationship holding you back? And talking about maybe a little bit more specifically, like a man to woman, if you're the man and she's the woman and you're the man watching this video, maybe you're using this as a clutch, and maybe that's why she wants to distance herself from you. Maybe she feels like this long distance relationship is actually holding you back and is keeping you from meeting someone who you could actually see more often, have a better relationship with. Maybe your relationship with her isn't as good as you think. Maybe you guys just relate well about certain subjects. This is all hypothetical, but maybe, because I've had experiences myself where maybe you guys just know how to talk really well about certain topics, certain subjects, but if you actually got together, maybe you guys wouldn't actually relate as well as you think. It's just something for you to think about, food for thought. I'm not telling you where you are. I'm not telling you these are your problems. I'm just asking you, really, like, why are you in this relationship, and to assess it. Okay, back to the rest of the video. So yeah, if you're that kind of person, you need to watch out for people, for times where women actually want you to leave. If she's just like, the signs are going to be obvious to, like, kind of answer if this is where you are or not. If she doesn't really want to do anything at all, she doesn't want to go to work, You know, if she does go to work, she only works really crappy jobs. She's not very interested in moving forward and getting a better job, getting a better life, and starting her own business. She's just not very interested in self-help. She's not interested in dealing with her emotional issues and her emotional baggage that she keeps bringing up, and she'd rather just throw it on you, or she'd rather just drink a lot or do drugs, whatever it is. Not judging people who drink a lot and do drugs. Just bringing up that if she's dealing or he's dealing with an emotional issue and they're drinking and doing drugs because of that, that's going to come up in your relationships. That's going to be a problem. And if you're not that kind of person, which there's a good chance you're not, if you bother watching this video and you stick around for this long, you may find yourself in a lot of relationships where people are actually, even if she looks better than you, you know, if you feel like you're a 5 and you know, and she's like an 8, 9, or 10, and you're like, oh, she's so hot, you know, but emotionally, mentally, energetically, you may be on a way higher level than her, and that could be part of the reason your relationship's going down. If you're someone like this, you got to be careful of people who are just trying to use you, people who are just trying to take advantage of you, because you may actually be attracting. I'm not just talking to you. I'm speaking like issues I've dealt with on a personal level. You may be attracting people in your life that just want to take advantage of you, people who just want to use you, people who either just want you to take them out for fun and don't actually want a serious relationship with you at all. And there's nothing wrong with that if you know what you're getting into. Or people who may just want you to pay the bills for them because you're someone who's responsible and someone who wants to do good for themselves. Wow, this video took a real turn. I didn't expect it to go here. I feel like this subject could even be for an entire another video. But yeah, this is on dealing with some insecurities with long distance relationships, and I guess dealing with insecurities and relationships in general, because I honestly think any of the things I said here could be applied to any relationship, even just with a friend, someone who's just straight up a friend. You can definitely test how committed they are to you, how willing they are to invest time with you, how open they are with you, all the things we said here. Well, I want to stop before I go into a ramble because I feel like it's coming. Thank you guys for watching. If I helped you in any way, please feel free to subscribe, and definitely feel free to leave anything in the comments below if you'd like me to try to give an answer to you, because I definitely got a lot more I can talk about. Thank you for watching.